Hello everyone, this is Alien Reddit Stories, where I tell alien stories off of Reddit. Story number 1. My brother-in-law says he was abducted. Don't know too much, except he was out in the woods, walking around. He was gone overnight. He never does that without letting somebody know that at least he's leaving. He was found the next morning completely stunned, on shock. I think he meant in shock. He could barely talk. He never really said what happened to him. We won't talk about it. He said only that they performed examinations on him. His right foot now has what I can only describe as a birthmark on his right foot. That's kind of redundant. It wasn't there before. That I know. Now he's got a deep purple mark that covers most of his foot. What the F? Story number 2. I don't know if this counts, but I'll share. Me and my family lived in the country on a dirt road, somewhat 30 minutes out of town. One night, it was getting close to bedtime and my family was just hanging around the living room when out of nowhere we heard a sound like thunder, but it shook the house. We ran outside and there was a green fog everywhere that hadn't been there before. It was almost like a mist and an emerald green color that was just everywhere. Then a trail of black SUVs began speeding down the road beside us. We had no idea where they came from, but they were driving so fast that they were getting airtime at the crossroads where there was a slight dip. They had their headlights off and more started showing up, covered all the dirt roads around us. We all went back inside and watched from inside the house. Police lit up the night sky as they closed off the highway that was connected to the dirt road. The next day we watched the news, checked the papers, but nothing mentioned anything except the usual news and the weather. To this day, we don't know anything, but that it was terrifying in an unknown kind of way. Story number 3. Well, Greys have been abducting me and technically my family since I lived with them since I was a newborn. I had my ups and downs with the Greys, which I made posts about, but I've since come around, and since I've learned to astral project, I go to visit them on their ships, and they come down to visit me in my dreams. I recently met a hybrid brother of mine this way. We have the same human mother, but he was one of the eggs taken from her that was not returned, and he gained Grey DNA. Suffice to say, I've reached a peace and equilibrium with the Greys in my life that I didn't know I could have as a kid. Next story. I'm one of the most skeptical people you could meet. One of my best friends is balls deep into UFO stuff. I think he meant tennis balls. And we regularly disagree about stuff he shows me. But back when I was 15, a friend of mine were walking home after visiting another friend. The last part of the walk involved walking along a 3/4 mile dead straight bit of road. We had our heads down, marching to get home. He lived about 100 meters from my house. All of a sudden, I find myself stood still, looking up at a very bright light in the sky. I think he meant I found myself standing still. The light shot off an amazing speed at about a 30-degree angles upwards, skywards. Paused for a split, I think he meant a split second, then just went off in another direction at an even steeple angle towards the sky at an impossible speed until it disappeared. I then turned to my friend who was also stood still looking at it and said, "Did you see that?" And then we carried on walking and didn't speak another word about it. I asked him if he remembered it a couple years ago, and he had absolutely no recollection of it. Like I said, I'm a very skeptical person, but I know what I saw and the oddness of how we both, at 1 minute, heads down, walking home, as the next minute stood still, looking up at this light. Yeah, very strange. I don't know if we were abducted. I don't think so. But something happened, and for no better explanation, there was some kind of mind control that made us not recognize or discuss, and for my friend not remember what happened. Wow, sir, that was very hard to read, sir. God bless you. Work on your writing a little bit, okay? For real. That was an ordeal. Alright. Next story. I had gone out to get asada and al pastor, TK style tacos, at a Mexican restaurant pretty late at night. When I sat down at a table, after placing my order, the lights went out. Someone ended up pushing me out of my chair, causing me to fall to the ground. The person then proceeded to tie my hands behind my back. I was dragged towards the back end of the restaurant where staff were supposed to be. I was pushed onto a chair and held down by the shoulders. That's when the lights were turned on and a couple of guys standing in front of me started telling me I needed to join the cartel. Otherwise, I'd be harvested for organs, etc., etc. All in Spanish with a heavy accent. easily given away that they were from Tijuana and had only recently arrived here. After their whole spiel, it gave away that they thought I was Jabaco. However, I actually let them know that I was Mexican as well and informed them I was already a member. With a smile on my face, I told them they know I was friends of a high-ranking officer. When I told them to call my friend, who could hear some yelling coming from the other side of the line and the faces of the guys looking worried, I was promptly released and escorted out of the restaurant with the guys clearly looking scared and tried to be apologetic. Once I was out, they promptly closed the door to the restaurant and turned off all the lights. I never got my order of tacos, so I left a 1 review on Yelp and just ended up getting some McDonald's overall. It was a quite disappointing night. Okay, my first thought is, why on God's green earth was this man telling me a story about him being abducted by cartel? And then I realized, abducted by aliens. Sure, you're Mexican, alright? Don't humiliate your people, alright? Alright, those banditos don't represent all of you, okay? I'm sorry about that, Mexican community. You guys are awesome people, alright? Love ya. Alright, this will be the last story. Let me find one for us first of all. Alright, there it goes. Hi, I'm so late, I imagine this won't be seen. I've never shared this publicly. About 4 years ago, I woke up on a Saturday morning after dreaming. Some foreign entity had come through my bedroom window and surrounded me. I had to be somewhere that morning and went straight to the bathroom to wash my face, brush my teeth, and throw my hair up in a bun. I was going to teach a fitness class, so I didn't care what my hair looked like, and I never checked the back of my hair. Just don't care, LOL. But for some reason that morning, I felt the strange urge that I had to. On the back of my neck was a red triangle, almost the color of a bird. I felt immediately panicked, which was weird for me, like my body knew. To make it even weirder, I'm married, and my husband had fallen asleep on the couch that night, and I had slept alone. I went to my bed to search for something that could explain it away. Nothing. I sleep on my stomach, quite literally cannot fall asleep on my back. I always sleep with my hair down, so there's no clip or hair accessory that I could have done it, and I don't wear clothes. As I drove to teach, I was constantly checking, thinking maybe it was gone away. It didn't. It stayed for 3 days. The roads were empty that morning, and the only car on the road in front of me was a license plate without any numbers, just my exact initials. Boom. Okay, that was kind of freaky. What I like about the story is that the details, that's just the nice subtle details. Hair is kept up, hair is over her back, she sleeps on her stomach. That's a terrible way to sleep, by the way. It's very bad for your organs. Try to sleep on your right side. All right, you're gonna give too much pressure to your organs and what have you. All right, but I digress. The point is that triangle. It's a strange burn. It's a strange mark. I like how she intuitively knew that it was there. It was like she just woke up and was like, let me look at that. Your body is very connected to you. If something's awry, your mind will figure it out. It will say something. Go look there. I feel unusualness back there. And so in that case, beyond that, she doesn't really give a lot of details. I'm assuming she's a she. Her hair was down. She's teaching a fitness class. Maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe it could be the dude, or it could be whatever, man. It's 2024. I'm not here to judge, but she is very I just like the intuitiveness of that story. As for the other stories, I don't know. It was a mixed batch this time around. The Mexican one was kind of hilarious. But it was kind of unnecessary, sir. They're not aliens. They're called people, all right? They're from Earth, for God's sake. Citizens from other people are not aliens, sir. They're from Earth, okay? We need to stop dividing each other like this. All right? Because technically, in that case, every one of us would be an alien to somewhere else, all right? And what is alien to me is that you still haven't subscribed, Go ahead and do it. Do it. Do it! It will liberate you. And I'll see you next time in Alien Reddit Stories.